I'm Maurice McDavid, host of Black, Brown, and Bilingual, a part of the Education Podcast Network, just like the show you're listening to now. Shows on the network are individually owned, and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other interesting education podcasts at edupodcastnetwork.com.
Thanks for listening to the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast, where each week we talk about a free piece or two of technology that you can use in your classroom. I'm your host, Shannon Martin. I'm a middle school teacher, technology, and instructional coach for my district.
And I'm your producer and husband, Fuzz Martin, and I'm talking to you directly instead of to the listeners today. For some reason, it was just by accident. Hey, do you know who my favorite explorer was?
Magellan.
Internet Explorer. Oh, dumb. But here I am. Yay. Welcome
Episode 158.
Yes.
We are here.
We are family.
We are learning. And we are
exploring
a new school year. Woo!
Yeah. How's it going so far?
Good. It's good. I am heading into week 3. Again, some school districts are heading into week 2. So far, fantastic group of kids, and we've been learning already and being productive human beings, which is always a great time.
That's your job, right? Is to create productive humans.
Yeah, I try.
Yeah, good work.
So yeah, it's going good. Yeah,
good.
So far, so good. And I'm kind of excited. I mean, I am excited. I am excited about this week's chat. These are 2 websites that I found that both I have used a bit, and then also I've been sharing with other teachers who've been looking for some fun resources to start building in some more inquiry type things into their classrooms and giving students a way to like hunt down information, and we've been talking about that a lot. So we're going to talk about that today, and because you're such an explorer, we're going to start with our first site.
But I'm looking at this site in Chrome though.
You are not using Internet Explorer?
I'm not using Internet Explorer. You know why? Because it's 2023, and I also use a Mac, so
it just doesn't work. So we're going to be talking about, it's called History Explorer, and it's put together by the Smithsonian. So to find it, it's historyexplorer.si.edu. And it's a fantastic resource to get you started as a teacher with lesson planning, or to get students investigating different topics, or to look at primary source museum artifacts and things like that. There's specific themes, there's books, there's all kind of resources. So it's Smithsonian's History Explorer, or just History Explorer. And it has all kinds of things. So if you're walking through like the beginning part of the site, I have found that it looks like, oh, it's just informational, but really, wait, there's more. It's one of those kind of websites. So you can choose if you want to explore an artifact, reviewed websites, materials, primary sources, interactive media, lesson plans, activities, or even worksheets. So you get to pick what you want. I'm going to go for, let's go for interactive media today. You can choose your grade level, which I always appreciate. So it's going to be leveled information and leveled text, K2, 3, 5, 6, 8, or 9, 12. So we have the gamut, which is great. I'm going to choose 9, 12 to begin with. And then what I really like is you can choose your historical era. So depending on what you're teaching in class or you want your students to focus on, you can pick from the beginnings to 1620 all the way through the present. I'm going to randomly click on 1850, cross-curricular, and you hit search. And this magic little button comes with all kinds of things for you. So there's reference materials. I can choose like American Democracy, A Great Leap of Faith. There's articles. There is a 3D tour of Abraham Lincoln's life mask, which is kind of cool. And then you can choose your era, and then we'll also link you to more articles. It will get you to the resource that you want. And what's cool is that as you're looking through different information, it will say, like, if it's going to link you to a museum artifact, or it'll link you to a video, or it might be a different article. It also will take you to other websites as well that will help you find information. So that's pretty cool. So when you're searching, you can also just like search lesson activities and then choose your grade level. It will drop things specific to grade level. And one of the articles is Young People Shake Up Elections. It's the one that keeps coming at the top. And they've got 612 information. Click Get the Resource. It will give you the article, and then it will have like LinkedIn, different information, lesson planning, and things like that you can use. And you can use the information in your class. Students can use it if you just click on like interactives and media. You can search a topic. So give me a topic search. What do I need?
Okay.
Something in history.
Topics are the
Or
Civil
life.
War.
Okay.
More
specific.
More specific. All right.
How about the surrender at Appomattox?
That's what I was going to say.
I know. So the surrender at Appomattox Courthouse. What do we got? It'll give you related books. It will give me History Explorer sites. It will give me information. And I misspelled what I was typing. So it's like, hey, girl, you totally misspelled that. And now we're fixing it. And today, era, reading level, and I can find the things that I need. So it's really cool. It also has options that you can choose bilingual if you want to. So it has an option if you're looking for information as well, which is great and helpful because we always appreciate such things. So, there's great ways that you can search and find information that way. They also have museum artifacts, so you can go through the whole Smithsonian collection of awesomeness to search things that you are looking for, which is great. Themes you can go through, and they will give you like a theme, and then they will pull like Constitution Day, and then they'll pull all the articles and all the resources for you that way. Book references, it'll give you books if you're looking for information. And if you click on the book, it's pretty cool. You can find it in a library near you, and it'll give you book suggestions for the topics that you're looking for. So many cool things with History Explorer, not just articles, but also I appreciate all of those museum pieces that it pulls in as well as articles and things like that. There are lessons and there's media and there's just all kinds of things that would be great for inquiry with students. And I appreciate the reference to K-12. So you can find the things that you need for your grade level and your topics that you are teaching or that you want kids to investigate or even just ask more questions about, which is pretty cool. All of that is there, which is pretty awesome. I did talk about a different Smithsonian episode, Smithsonian Learning Lab, which was back in episode 89, which is another way of exploring through the Smithsonian a little bit differently. So that is pretty cool as well.
Yeah, that's cool. So that was on episode 89. We'll put that in the show notes. So if you want to click over that easily, we'll get you there. Or you can always use the search box on smartinwi.com, and that will pull up that function as well for episode 89.
Tiddy. Okay. So that is Smithsonian's History Explorer lessons and activities, historyexplorer.si.edu.
Very good.
Yay. So another cool site that's got a ton of resources for teachers, but this one is not just like research based or finding information and those types of things.
Mm-hmm.
This site I stumbled across when I was looking for something else, and I'm like, wow, this is cool. We got to talk about it.
Cool looking site.
So it's #MetKids.
Yes.
Now I need to explain this a little bit. It is through the Metropolitan Museum of Art.
Mm-hmm.
And they point out it's made for, with, and by kids. Okay, the site is super cool. It's one of those that you want to just drop in your Google Classroom and kids can just be on it, and they're going to be engaged in what they're doing. If you go to the Met Museum of Art website, it's like several clicks to get here versus if you just go to metmuseum.org/art/
Can I give you a tip?
Yeah.
Because nobody's going to remember that.
Online features / /metkids/.
If you type in metkids together, one word,
yes,
it'll be the first result in Google, and you can get there very easily.
Correct. That would be your best way to get there is metkids in Google.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's deep within the metmuseum.org structure.
Basically, my thought is just get the link once and then bookmark it or throw it in Google Classroom so kids can get to it. Because once they do, there's so many cool things that they can like learn and explore on this site.
Mm-hmm.
So #MetKids it's super cool. So your options are you can explore the map. So you click on the first button and the kids can explore the map. It's like, welcome to the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And then it talks about the Metropolitan, which I love because it gives kids, like our kids in Wisconsin may have never traveled that way. And it gives them like, hey, this is like a cool museum in another part of the country. And then maybe you can learn more about the East Coast and you can learn. Anyway, I just think about all those things. So the first exploration piece of the Met, you can zoom in, zoom out, and it's almost like Where's Waldo? Is like it's just like an image with all these little cartoon people and these red and yellow dots everywhere. So if you click on the red dots and the yellow dots, they take you around the museum. They zoom in, they give you information about it. They let you imagine. Oh yeah, and there's like fun sounds too. And then so basically there's like, here's a fact. So I just clicked on the Golden Goblet with personifications of Cyprus, Rome, Constantinople, and Alexandria. Cool. There's a fun fact. So this goblet is heavy to lift, and when it is not filled with something to drink, made of solid gold. Okay, cool. So it gives you like the background of the object in the discover part. Then they have an imagine part. So some people think the treasure belonged to Avar Chief. I think I'm saying that right. Others say it was an artist who worked with gold and silver. What would you do with this fancy golden cup? What would you like to drink out of it? It's like poses questions to like bring it into their world. Like, why would I care about this cup? And then they have a create section. So this treasure wasn't discovered for hundreds of years after it was buried. Someone should have a treasure map. Make your own treasure chest and treasure map. So it gives kids like the information, something to think about, and then create a connection and like make like comes like a little project basically, or an assignment or whatever to go with it, which is really cool. So each of the red buttons will have like that discover, imagine, create part, which is really cool. And there are different artifacts around the museum. Then if you click on the yellow part, like the yellow little Where's Waldo dots, those are just specific to the museum. So like, here's the gift shop. Here's the information desk. Here's the Great Hall of Flowers. So what's cool is then you get like a little tour through the museum, and then all of the red buttons give you all of these cool, fun, interactive facts, and you can answer questions, and you can build that into like little writing projects or little projects throughout your classroom, and just let kids do a whole inquiry based on their adventure of the Met Museum, which is all just in the map section, which is very cool. Then if you click on Time Machine, which is probably my favorite. Yeah.
That was where that noise that you heard earlier came from.
Yes. So when you're in the time machine, because clearly you're skipping ahead of me, what you do is you have to choose a time period, geography, so a place in the world, and then a big idea. So I'm going to choose like 1600 to 1880. Okay. And then geography, I'm going to pick Europe. And then big ideas, I can choose from inventions, creatures, mythologies, sports and games, secrets, city and country, magic and mystery, fashion, or spaces and places. I'm choosing secret. Then when you pick these ideas, it gets this little like twirly thing, and you push the red button, and then boom, you get cool things in the museum. So you can then, it'll load it in to like where it is in the museum. It'll give you a fun fact. Mine came up with a painting, The Fortune Teller. And then fun fact, discover, imagine, and create all comes up. So it's a way of like exploring the museum specific to a time period and a place in the world. So you could totally set kids up for like a cool exploration if you're studying a specific part of the world, or if you want them to engage in different time periods in the world. It's really fun to like click around and have this information come up at you, which is pretty neat.
That's super cool. And also with the time machine, you don't have to select like in order. You don't have to pick the location. Like you can just select like I'm on like sports right now.
Yeah.
And it'll bring up those without you having to go like
right. You don't have to go through all the pieces. You don't have to narrow it down as much. And then you click the button to hop back in the time machine, and they can pick something else. Which is really cool.
It is cool.
And then where'd you go? What'd you see? Tell us about the world. I don't know. It's cool. And they could share it out in front of their classmates or share it with a partner and then do some more additional research. I don't know. Very excited about this. And then the third category is videos. And what's cool about these videos is the Q&As that have been collected. So like, how can art tell us about who we are? And can painting tell more than one story? So it gives connections to art, specifically with Q&A videos.
Mm-hmm.
That would be great for class discussion and for having students learn a little bit more about different parts of the world and different things like that. So Met Kids has then these cool videos that link in as well, which is pretty awesome. And then you just go back to the menu button, and if you choose to, you can visit the museum. And then it takes you like to different parts of the museum.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah, so Met Kids has like all these resources, and it would be very easy to give students, I would say, probably guided as a class, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade. But I would say like 4th grade on up could easily navigate this on their own and kind of pull in their own inquiry and different things like that. And it would be really fun and easy to spark conversations with students.
Great.
So there you go.
Met Kids. Again, search
Kids.
Met Kids on Google and you'll get there faster. Put the words together, Met Kids together.
Yes.
It'll pop up.
Yes. And my last little tidbit of information, because today is September 11th.
Yes.
And last year I had done a whole collection of resources for September 11th.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I'm teaching this September 11th today and tomorrow, because to me it's at least 2 days and we carry on the discussion. But in episode 125, I referenced several resources for 9/11
Sure.
if you need them for discussion in your classroom, either in the state of Wisconsin or like the National Museum in New York. So there's lots of resources out there, but if you need a quick reference, episode 125 offers resources for you for today.
Perfect.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So episode 158, some
In
cool
the books.
historical things and some cool exploration things, and to get kids digging into some inquiry learning, which I always love.
Indeed.
There you go. Look at us rocking out the first weeks of school.
Oh, yeah.
Woo. All right.
Good work.
So thanks for tuning in. This has been the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast. If you ever have questions, you can find me on the app formerly known as Twitter, smartandwi.com. Oops, smartandwi. Or on Threads, where I am just me, smartandwi. And if you want to get more information on the links to the technology discussed in this episode, you can visit smartandwi.com, or you can find me on Facebook too, because that hasn't changed. If you'd like to support the show, please consider buying me a coffee or two. Visit buymeacoffee.com/smartandwi, or visit smartandwi.com and click on that cute little purple coffee cup. Your donations help keep this show going. New episodes each week. Thanks for listening. Go educate and innovate.
The ideas and opinions expressed on this podcast and the Smart NWI website are those of the author, Shanna Martin, and not of her employer. Prior to using any of the technologies that we've discussed on this podcast, please consult with your employer regulations. This podcast offers no guarantee that these tools will work for you as described, but we sure hope they do. And we'll talk to you next time right here on the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast.